Welcome back to Broadway Loves Houston here in New York City on Be Terrific and Playbill.com. I'm Michael Artsis. Thank you so much for watching. We are at the Yotel in New York City. It is 42nd Street. The Green Room 42 will be where the performances are. I'm joined by Caissie Levy, who will play Elsa in Frozen on Broadway. It is set to open in February with previews coming very soon, early November. I am very excited about this show. It is going to be tremendous.
Thank you. We're really excited about it. We actually start previews in February and open in March.
It's very exciting. I just heard you do a sound check. You have a magnificent voice. You filled that room beautifully. How excited are you for tonight?
Thanks. I'm really happy to be part of it. I think it's a very, very minor thing that some of us in New York can do to try to help and feel that we're reaching someone, hopefully somewhere.
It's not a minor thing. It's a major thing. First of all, the idea of giving your time and your name and your image to doing an event like this and your voice is really important. And then calling attention to this cause is phenomenal. So basically, a lot of the theaters in Houston were destroyed with Hurricane Harvey. This is to raise money for that. It's not only about bringing the arts and theater back to Houston, which is very important. Kind of brings people back to life and lets them enjoy things for a moment. But the really important part, when you really think about it too, is that these are people who have not only lost their homes, but in many cases their jobs. And not only the performers, you're talking about the ticket takers, the concession people, the sound guys and gals. I mean, so it really is important. And I think, you know, it's something that is incredible that you're doing and that the fine folks here, David Perlow and Ali Stroker, have put together, and I really commend you for doing that.
Oh, well, thanks. I think everyone here is just honored to be part of it. We want to give back in some small way, and people need the help, and we need to raise awareness and funds, and so I know that every Broadway actor here tonight is really happy to be part of it.
You know, people can take the link at the bottom of the screen, they can copy that, put it in their browser, and they can donate, which is phenomenal. They can help the cause that way. And then they can also watch the rest of this broadcast, which is completely free, and they can enjoy some of the performances, and they can smile themselves. And there'll be plenty of people in the Houston area who aren't getting theater right now, aren't able to be entertained. Life might be a little hard for them right now, and they can have a moment of joy and entertainment while watching this, and that's something that's special. How did you get involved in theater?
Oh, gosh. I've done theater since I was a little girl. I started singing before I could speak, and I've never stopped. And then I got on stage as much as I could and ended up where I am now.
I would imagine that when you started wanting to perform as a little girl, you probably aspired to be a Disney princess. Is that true?
Yeah, I was really into The Little Mermaid and Ariel, so now to be part of the Disney family is a huge privilege.
And to be Elsa has got to be...
Yeah, it's wild. It's amazing. The show is so beautiful, and it's so grown up and adult and magical, and the new music is just incredible. So we're really excited to now, having done the Denver out-of-town tryout, to bring it to New York and have the world see it.
I think what's exciting is this is a show that's for everybody. It's not just for kids. It's for the entire family.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had people come on date nights. It wasn't just little girls and little boys in the audience. It was, groups of old friends getting together and having bonded over the movie, and now getting to come and see it in a whole new way. It's not really a replica of the film. It's a whole new piece of work of art. So
Denver is a beautiful city. How was it spending time there as you're doing the run-through?
It was great. I didn't see much of it because I was in the theater nonstop. We had a month-long preview period where we were rehearsing all day and doing the show at night, so it was really intensive. But everyone at the theater, all the local artists, the band, the crew, they were just amazing. And the downtown was awesome. A lot of our cast members were able to go and hike and stuff on the days off. I have a 2-year-old, so I did not do that. But it was a great place to be to test out the show.
That must have been amazing for your 2-year-old, maybe to enjoy some of the, atmosphere in Denver, even though you were working really hard. A boy or girl?
A little boy.
Oh, that's very cute. Congratulations on Frozen. What are you going to be performing here tonight?
I'm actually going to be singing a song from Ghost, which was another role I played here. And it's a really uplifting song, sort of about moving through adversity, and I thought it was an appropriate song for this cause.
Speaking of adversity, what advice would you give to those who are facing a ton of adversity tonight around not only the Houston area, but the globe specifically in the United States. California is going through wildfires right now. 15,000 homes lost. One of our friends, a guy named Ted, who works at a company called Think Tank Photo, he just lost his family home that he grew up in. And so that adds to the tragedy list in the last few weeks in the United States of America and around the globe. What would you say to the people who are facing the most adversity right now to kind of lift them up and help them get back on their feet?
I wish I had magic words that would fix it. I think rather than advice, just to offer love and support, tell them they're not alone, tell them that there are people all over the map thinking about them, rallying behind them, supporting them, and that they're not alone.
I think that that's great advice, and I think that that's the idea that it will get better, and we're here for you, and that's what tonight is about. This is Broadway Loves Houston, and we hope that you'll donate and certainly watch and give your time, and you can send resources, too. People still need resources, so please do. Thank you so much, Caissie. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I can't wait to see you actually perform. It's going to be phenomenal. You're going to get to see her perform as well, and if you want, you should check out Frozen. They're putting the finishing touches on the St. James Theater right now. Your previews will start in early November, and you guys start in March.
Previews start in February.
Oh, in February.
And then we open officially in March. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Rehearsals then start in November.
We're actually on a little bit of a break right now, but we start up again in January. So.
Excellent. Congratulations. Elsa in Frozen. Wow. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you in just a moment. At Be Terrific TV on all social media. Don't forget to head over to playbill.com, and check out what they're doing. And plj.com. Of course, NashFM.com, and all our folks and friends at Cumulus and the Cumulus Nation. We love you guys. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay with us. I'm Michael Artsis here in New York City for Be Terrific and Playbill.com for you, because this is a special event. The idea is that, unfortunately, during Hurricane Harvey, many of the theaters were destroyed in the Houston area. And that impacts, obviously, the people who want to go see theater and get entertained for the evening, but it also impacts the folks who work at the theaters, not only the actors, but also the concession stand people, the ticket takers, the people who work in the backgrounds behind the scenes, the audio boards, the lighting. And so we want to help rebuild Houston so that these people have great jobs, and also so that they can entertain the community and kind of bring life back to some normalcy. There have been a lot of tragedies in the United States of America in the past few weeks, and this is one of them. So hopefully we'll be doing more of these to highlight some of the other ones. You can donate. There's a link right at the bottom of the screen, and you can donate to the cause. I've got Kate here. She's in Mean Girls on Broadway. She's going to be performing tonight. Yeah. And so you can see that, and we ask you, just donate. It's free to watch. Donate. Maybe you can donate resources. Maybe you can donate money. Maybe you can donate time. You're donating tonight. You're donating your time, your image, your likeness, and your voice, which is incredible.
It's kind of all I have to donate, so I'm happy to do it.
Talk about being in Mean Girls on Broadway.
It's a wonderful experience. Tina Fey is writing the book. Lorne Michaels is our executive producer. So it's a lot of the same creative voices that were there for the original film that are also participating in the stage show. And it's all being helmed by Caissie Nicolau, who is an absolute legend in musical theater comedy. He is incredible to work with. And our music team, Jeff Richmond and Nell Benjamin, are both absolutely spectacular. It's going to be a real powerhouse of a show.
Is it hard to do a musical that was a movie because of the expectations? Because when I see a movie that was a remake, I feel like I have such expectations going in. They've got to get to this bar. And so to take a movie that was so great like Mean Girls, turn it into a musical, the expectations are there. Is that hard?
I think that it can be very challenging and intimidating if you aren't super confident in what the ultimate message of the piece is. And what we're so fortunate to have is a team that really knows exactly what kind of story we're trying to tell. And so we don't have to do the same things as are in the film to make sure that that story is being told in an authentic way and an honest way. You know, film versus musical theater, they're vastly different mediums in what you can and can't do, and what, you know, the methods that you use to communicate are so different. And so by nature, you have to go in hoping for something that can hold on to the heart of the piece, but will ultimately tell the story in a little bit of a different medium.
How does it translate to a musical? It seems like it would almost be perfect, but how does it actually translate?
It's incredible how many of the moments sort of naturally lend themselves to song. I can't give too much away. We actually are going on Saturday to go down and start the tech process in DC to do our out of town. So no one's seen it yet, and so I'm not going to give it away to you guys, not yet anyway. But it is incredible to see I sort of feel like there are certain moments that there was no question. Like, clearly this needs to be a song. And then I think there are some others that are going to be a surprise. I think that people are going to really enjoy where we were able to bring music in and where we sort of let it be maybe more true to the original scene.
Okay, so you don't want to give us anything, but do you have a favorite moment?
Oh my gosh, that's hard to say. I have a favorite moment from my own track. I'm playing Karen, and let's just say that Karen really loves to celebrate Halloween, and there's a really special part of the show that I get to participate in that is really, really joyful.
Now, you're going to perform here tonight. I imagine you're not performing something from Mean Girls, are you?
No. I think they wouldn't like that very much if I gave it away early. But I'm singing something from The Last 5 Years, which is a show that I love very, very much. It's a song called Summer in Ohio, which I love doing because I grew up in Ohio. And so I have a lot of real understanding of what it's like doing summer theater, community theater in Ohio. And it's very, very personally joyful for me to get to talk about it in a way that isn't my words. And so it doesn't make anybody mad.
Where in Ohio?
I grew up in Cincinnati.
All right. Mm-hmm. And I guess one of the great places in Cincinnati to go is Grater's Ice Cream.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you said that and not Skyline Chili. I love a Grater's Ice Cream. I know the black raspberry chip's famous, but I'm actually partial to the coconut chip. I don't know if you've ever had coconut chip ice cream, but I'm telling you, you are missing out. You have to go try it.
Wow. Now, Grater's is phenomenal. It's still made in a French pot, which is an ancient recipe at this time.
You're good. You've done your research.
Had a lot of Grater's.
Yeah. It's very, very rich, but it's not heavy because of the. I mean, I don't know how to make ice cream, so please don't take my word for what the methods are. That
makes two of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I eat a lot of ice cream, and so I can say that what I love the most about Grater's and that nobody else can really do is maintain that sort of richness of flavor without it feeling super heavy. It's very, very light. It is not light in calories.
No, but it always tastes creamy, and it always feels creamy in the mouth. How did you get started in theater?
I was just listening to Caissie talking, and I was giggling because I could use her exact same words. My mom would say that I came out of the womb singing, and that I sang before I could speak. And I grew up listening to the original cast records of Andrew Lloyd Webber and Schoenberg and Bouville. That was all my culture in my house. My parents loved musical theater, and I ended up in a production of Fiddler on the Roof in high school. I played Grandma Seidel. Which is a great role for a 14-year-old. And I remember the curtain going up as the song Tradition, which opens the show, was playing. And I remember as the curtain went up, seeing the audience for the first time and going, oh, I have to do this for the rest of my life. This is the most exciting thing I've ever experienced.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just really thrilling to have a live audience and to be so immediately impacted by them and know that you're immediately impacting them as well.
Now, I can't imagine how tremendous that must be. But growing up in Cincinnati, Ohio, we think of theater as New York, maybe Chicago, maybe a little bit of Miami, certainly some in L.A., definitely Houston. But Cincinnati, but Cincinnati is not necessarily a hotbed of theater, as far as I know.
So actually, Cincinnati has a really passionate theater scene. They are a big touring community, so a lot of the national tours that go through the U.S., they all come through Cincinnati, which is what I kind of grew up on. But as I was sort of moving through high school and getting into college, there were pockets of smaller, more independent theaters that were coming up and doing a lot of really amazing, really artistic new work, sort of avant-garde work as well. So there's a considerable artistic community down there. They just, I don't think, get quite the same notoriety that some other cities have, like Chicago, like Los Angeles, and of course like New York. But there are some spectacular artists down there doing really great work.
That's excellent. I imagine you went to the theater every time you got a
Oh
chance.
my gosh, yes. So much. I've actually never gotten to tour back through. I've done 3 national tours, and not a one of them has taken me back through Cincinnati yet, which feels like such a tragedy to me. But I always felt like the Aronoff Theater, which is where the touring shows would come through when I was a kid, I always felt like that was my theater, my own theater.
It would be amazing to go back there.
Love to go back there. I hope someday.
And where did you get the instruction? Because obviously you have the talent to sing, but you need to be taught how to play your instrument, right? Your voice is your instrument. You need to be able to be taught how to do that. And I imagine that as it's up and coming as a place for theater in these pockets, the instruction might be good, but it also might be hard to find great instruction.
I got really lucky, actually. I was sort of taken aside by a voice teacher that I had in 7th grade. Her name was Linda Gardner, and she was very passionate about her students and really passionate about making sure you were taking care of your voice. And I think she saw that I was really excited about it and that I loved it a lot. And so she got me into voice lessons very, very early. And I took from a teacher in school for a little while, and then I also went out and found a private teacher, Amy Hill, who I studied with all the way up until college. And then for college, I went to school for musical theater, so I got kind of protected training in there.
Excellent. Where'd you go?
Baldwin Wallace in Cleveland.
Very nice. All right. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on Mean Girls, the musical. That's going to be unbelievable. And congratulations on being part of tonight. I think it's really special.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I actually met my husband working in Houston theater, so I'm really, really excited to be here.
Wow. So it has a special kind of moment for you, connotation. I mean, all of it.
It absolutely does. Yeah, I have a real love of Houston in my heart, and it's devastating to me what's happened down there.
And you know how important it is not only for the people who lost their jobs or are without jobs right now, without work, but also for the people who have this as their entertainment, and really it cheers them up.
I think especially when things get really, really hard and terrible things happen to good people, I think that theater is ultimately an escape, and it's meant to be a place that you can kind of walk away from the hardness of your own life and spend 2 hours in another story getting to sort of experience somebody else's life. And without that, for me at least, since I know that there are a lot of people in Houston who are very passionate about the arts, I feel like that is such a loss in and of itself, because that escape is so important when you're going through something as difficult as recovering from such a major storm.
It's very true. Very true. Before I let you go, how'd you meet your husband?
We were touring through Houston doing Legally Blonde, and he was my dance captain, actually. And I had just come in, I had done the show in New York, and I was joining the tour. And so it was his job to sort of make sure I remembered everything and was in the right place, knew the changes. And so we ended up spending almost every day for the first week in rehearsal together. And I had just adopted a new puppy, and so we would go on long walks by the river, actually, in Houston. There's this beautiful river walk downtown. And so in the morning, he would come and walk with me and take my dog out for a walk, and then we would go to rehearsal together. And before I knew it, we were dating, and 9.5 years later, here we are.
Wow. Pretty amazing. It's a beautiful story in Houston, and we need more beautiful stories in Houston, and you can help. Go to the link at the bottom of the screen, copy it, put it in your browser, and donate. This is Broadway Loves Houston. She's Kate. She's about to be in Mean Girls on Broadway. I'm Michael Artsis. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have some more interviews. And, of course, we'll have great performances from Cincinnati, Ohio to Broadway. It's pretty amazing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. Friends, welcome to Broadway Loves Houston in New York City at the Yotel. I'm Michael Artsis. We're on Playbill.com's Facebook page and BeTerrific.com. We're also syndicated around the world. Thank you so much for watching. Broadway Loves Houston is really important. Broadway Loves Houston is put together by David Perlow and Ali Stroker in an effort to raise some money for those affected in Hurricane Harvey in Houston, and specifically those in the theater industry. So the idea is to rebuild theaters that have been affected in Houston so we can get people back to work who work on at those theaters, and we can get people back to enjoying life as normal. So there are going to be some great performances here tonight and some more wonderful interviews. Thank you so much for watching. At Be Terrific TV on all social media. You are the Terrifics, and you make Be Terrific special. There's a little link at the bottom of the screen. You can go on, copy that link, put it in your browser, and donate to the wonderful cause. And it's amazing. I've got Alice here. She's a Tony Award winner, and she's going to be performing tonight. I mean, this is the caliber of performers we have here that are supporting this cause. What made you want to support Broadway Loves Houston?
Well, Daniel just had to ask me once I knew the cause. But also the venue here, the Green Room at 42, it's a venue that I really like to play.
It is a fun venue, isn't it?
It's got a real nice vibe, and Daniel's great, and David. So when they told me what it was for, it was like you kind of move everything to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to somebody earlier, it seems like a small thing, right? This is what you do on a daily basis. This is what you love doing, performing, but yet you can give so much back to people who are in such need right now, not only because they can watch and be entertained for a couple of hours, but also because hopefully the wonderful people at home and the wonderful people in this room donate to help rebuild those theaters, to get performances going again in Houston. So it really is something spectacular.
I think that's not a bad point, actually. I think you're right about that I sing every day. I do it for fun, or, if somebody asks me, or any other reason. So when you know that there's something that we can actually do to help, and when we get together and do something like this and raise money, you feel like you're helping. And that's a great feeling because, you feel so helpless, especially all the way up here, so far away.
It's very true. We've had so many tragedies in the United States recently, and every single one of them I've said, wow, I wish I could just get in the car and drive down there and do something. Live coverage, well, there's a lot of that, but that's what I do. This, that, the other thing, you want to help. And so this is a great way to help and give back. I think you make a great point. Now, in 2009, you won a Tony Award for Next to Normal.
That's right, yeah. Diana Goodman was the character. And I'm happy to say she's not here with me tonight. I left her at home.
I think it's got to be so amazing to win a Tony. And it's got to be such a moment of validation for you and for your career to sit there and go, wow, this is pretty spectacular. Am I wrong or am I right? I think I'm right.
Well, you do feel like the community said, we respect what you've been doing, and we think that you're doing the right thing. Keep doing it. That feels good because I have dedicated my life to this, and it's something that it feels really good to know that the community is saying, keep going. Don't stop.
I think you're right, and I think it's really important to recognize people who are super talented like yourself and have special performances. When you started the role, did you say to yourself, I think this could be the role, this is special, and I think I'm nailing this?
Well, the thing that you learn is that, as far as the Tony goes, there are Tony roles and then there are non-Tony roles. So I knew that this was one of those roles that gets everybody's attention. It's you'll see when you listen to it. It's non-negotiable. You gets your attention. So I knew that it was a calling to me. So I had a feeling I was onto something, and I'm kind of blushing right now. I feel really grateful. I very much appreciate the way that the community singled me out that way. And from then I've continued to do my best to contribute to what we're doing here, try to come up with new ideas, and I keep going. I'm not going to ever drop out just because I'm of a certain age or whatever, you keep going, because some of the best roles are later, like Norma Desmond and Mama Rose. These roles are waiting for me later, so I want to make sure that I'm ready for them.
I've actually heard that by a lot of actors, that you learn a lot in your 20s and 30s, and then in your 40s, 50s, and beyond, you kind of use the experience and draw upon that and are ready for the greatest roles of your career.
Yeah, ideally, I think that's how it works. That's how, when it works out that way, it's good. And I've worked with people in their 80s, and I always ask them for advice. These are like icons, like George Hearn and Robert Prosky. And I ask them for advice. I say, how do you stay in it your whole life? Like, how do you keep the joy going? How do you keep the balance? How do you keep it fresh? And their advice was, George told me to go for, if I wanted to win a Tony, go for a role that would win a Tony, like really go for that and make it the best you can. And Robert Prosky taught me that some of the best stuff comes at the end of your life as an actor. Sanford Meisner was one of our greatest acting teachers, and he taught us that it takes 20 years to become an actor. And when you're a young actor and you hear that, you reject it. if you're smart, because you think that doesn't apply to me. But actually it does, because you think it's a curse or an albatross. But indeed, it's actually a gift, because it's like Sanford Meiser's way of saying you don't have to do it right now. Like, you don't have to know what you're doing right now. You can give yourself a couple decades to figure it out. So I think that you made a good point here. You know, by the time you're in the middle of your life, that's the time that you really need to recommit. You often have to find a new reason to keep going as an artist, because stuff happens. Your parents die, relationship ends, lots of things happen, you know. You have every reason to kind of go, I've already won my Tony, I've already done this, I don't need to keep going. But for me, that's never been an option, because I've always done this as a calling. And so I'm quietly kind of like, you know, keeping myself ready for the next chance that I have to work on something new.
I interviewed Cousin Brucey in the beginning of my career, and he was a famous radio host, and I said something kind of similar. I said, how do you keep going at your age? You keep doing it. And he said, because it's never felt like work a day in my life.
Well, that's good, too. I mean, you know, you have
I think
to...
if you're passionate about it, it does at times feel like work, but it never really feels like work. It doesn't feel like digging a ditch, which is hard manual labor.
Well, you can always re-engage anew, meaning like you can say yes or no to whatever you decide you want to work on, really. And you can start anew, like, you know, what you do, you're good at having a conversation. So we bring this together for everybody to see, you know, our excitement to have a conversation about tonight. And to me, that's easy. And it's easy for me to get together with people who are friends and to sing a song. You know, I can't wait to sing the song I get to sing tonight. It's fun, you know, and you're helping to raise some money, or you're doing it for a good reason. And so these are the kind of nights that remind you of the joy, because it can become, it becomes your job after a while, and you have to always reignite that joy any way that you can. You know, I like to teach, and that does it for me a lot of times, you know. And I love working in auditions. I know it's crazy, but that really brings me a lot of joy to work on something.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and we're going to keep your performance a surprise and let everybody watch it, because the performances are going to start now. This is Broadway Loves Houston. Don't forget, there's a link at the bottom of the screen. You can donate, and we urge you to do that, and we appreciate it. This is to help rebuild the theaters in Houston, not only for the people who work there, but also for the community of Houston, so they have a place to go and be entertained by wonderful actors and performers. And we're going to go take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have the performances. And after that, we'll have some more interviews, and we'll wrap the whole thing up. You're watching on Playbill.com and BeTerrific.com. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with live performances right after this on Broadway Loves Houston. Welcome back to Broadway Loves Houston. I'm Michael Artis. We're here in New York City at the Yotel on 42nd Street, live on Playbill.com and BeTerrific.com and Playbill's Facebook page. Now, this event is to raise money, as you've heard all night, for the theaters that have been destroyed by Hurricane Harvey in Houston. And there are certainly many tragedies that have struck this great nation the last few weeks, but this is the one that we're focusing on right now, because Broadway can make a difference and help rebuild the theaters, which gives people their jobs back, and in addition to that, helps bring normalcy back to life and entertainment and smiles. Hopefully we've done that for you here tonight. The show is produced by David Perlow and Ali Stroker, and here at the Yotel, they were kind enough to provide the room, the Green Room 42, which is a wonderful space. I'm joined by Lauren, who sang with the ukulele, umbrella, and a little bit of Singing in the Rain, a little mashup. You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you so much. Well, you know, it's just one of my favorite songs, and I really think the lyrics of that song are about helping one another out. And right now, that's all we can do, is help each other and look for light and look for hope and kindness with each other. So, you know, if you can give your time, give your money, or just help to make somebody smile, that is truly important. And I think, you know, those are in the lyrics of the song I was singing.
Absolutely, and folks can donate by going to the link at the bottom of the screen, which is Help Houston's Theater. Theaters.org, I believe. It's on the bottom of the screen, and there's an S in there. Help Houston's Theaters.org, or theater. It's down here. Theater District.
Yeah, that's it.
That is correct. Yes, it's a long mashup. But anyway, you sang a mashup. Singing in the Rain, too, is a very bright, cheery song. I want to smile every time I hear it.
Yeah, it is. It does. I mean, obviously, with the devastation, there is some irony of singing in the rain when a hurricane hits. You're not going to be singing exactly. But, I just thought that the lyric really is beautiful and hopeful and uplifting. And, we all just have to try to smile through all of the tragedies that we're facing these days.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll do many more of these to help raise money for all the different.
Yeah, there's so many things. It's like every day something else needs help, and what we can do is as performers is not only give our money but our time and our talent to help these wonderful causes. So
now, singing on stage in front of a lot of people has to be an enormous thrill and enormous rush, and something you enjoy doing. But doing it for a good cause, does that feel different?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's just it's much more meaningful, and it's infused with a purpose. And I'm so thankful that I got to be a part of this night, and everyone tonight. You could just feel the sense of community coming together and making music for a great cause.
How did you get involved in the theater?
Well, from a young age, I just loved it. It came naturally to me, and I just loved music and theater and acting and playing instruments. So, also, I come from a theatrical family. My father is a principal bassist with the Detroit Symphony, and my mother's a dancer. So, it was in my blood. And, I just kind of grew up with it.
The ukulele was an interesting choice. How long have you been playing it?
Oh, gosh. I started playing the ukulele around the same time that I was in Sweeney Todd on Broadway. That was around 2005. So I've been playing for about 12 years.
And why the ukulele? Why tonight the ukulele?
Well, again, so the sound of the ukulele, I think, has just such a happy sound, and it's bright and it's cheerful, and it can have a very happy, sweet sound, like you're on a beach in Hawaii, but it can also have a bittersweet kind of tune if the lyric that is accompanying it has sadness to it. So I think the sound of the ukulele is just really sweet and hopeful.
We had Hurricane Harvey in Houston. We had Hurricane Irma that ripped through not only the United States and Puerto Rico, but the Caribbean, and also and Maria and Puerto Rico is part of the United States, and obviously. And then we've had the shooting in Las Vegas, and now we've got wildfires in California. At least 10 dead, 15,000 homes burned, according to reports. What do you want to say to the people who are watching tonight who are looking for some levity in all of the tragedy that they're going through?
We love you. I wish that we could be there in person to help. We are thinking of you. We are not only sending thoughts and prayers, but we will help you financially in the best ways that we can. And just know that we are in this together. Tragedy is something that is constantly striking everyone in various ways. And, so it's just important that we all are looking out for one another as much as we can every single day. Even random acts of kindness, your kindness will help somebody. Just put a smile on their face,
So I think the message really is that we should not forget those who have fallen, unfortunately, and not forget those who are going through this. And we should, unite and lift everybody's spirits and do something every day do one
little act of kindness every day. If you're not there in person, with boots on the ground, do what you can to spread the awareness of these tragedies, these people that need help. Try to raise money, share different links to donate, do what you can. I know it seems overwhelming, but that's all we can do. Taking it one step at a time.
You can donate.
To get overwhelmed.
Right, and you can donate a smile, right? You can donate supplies, you can donate your time, and obviously you can donate money. There's a link at the bottom of the screen where people can do that. And I think that as a nation, we're really starting to embrace what our armed services, the great men and women who fight for our freedom, have believed for many years, which is leave nobody behind. And it seems like we are starting as a people to do that, and that's what this is about.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Everyone matters. Every person on this planet matters. And we need to make every effort to make sure that they feel that way, that everyone can be saved. And, not to be political, but everyone deserves justice and and the right to have a happy and successful life on this planet. And even if a hurricane hits or tragedy strikes, we all have to come together and help one another out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You did a beautiful job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with some more interviews here on Broadway Loves Houston. Remember, there is a link at the bottom of the screen. You can donate. I have to thank Alex from Playbill.com because he is a tremendous force behind Playbill and saw this vision and helped not only put this on, but make sure the live stream got on and also that it was promoted. And there are a lot of wonderful people also at Cumulus, who's part of our family at Be Terrific, who have made sure that the message gets out on the radio and that you're getting to watch this on the web as well. So, of course, we've got to thank all these wonderful people who have made this happen. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. This is Broadway Loves Houston. Welcome back, friends. It's been a great night of entertainment and your watching and donations and support, and it's been wonderful to have Broadway stars here supporting the theaters in Houston that have been destroyed, because it's not only the theaters being rebuilt means jobs for people, it means entertainment, a little bit of levity and normalcy back in life, and it's really, really important, and you have made that special. You've been a big part of that, and we really appreciate it. I'm Michael Arts is here in New York City at the Yotel on 42nd Street in New York City, just outside the heart of Times Square, footsteps from Broadway, and the performance happened in the Green Room 42. There's so much great stuff to see. You can go back on Facebook and watch it, and of course on BeTerrific.com and watch it, and it's on the Playbill.com not only site, but the Facebook page with over 360,000 followers. Alex from Playbill has made that happen. You've said, look, let's make this a wonderful event. Let's reach out to all of our followers on Facebook, get the word out. And there was a tremendous audience response tonight. Thank you.
Oh, well, please. It was the least that Playbill can do. It was an incredible evening, and we're so happy to be able to share it with all of you and to continue to share. I mean, one of the beautiful things about Facebook Live is that it gets archived, and then it can continue to be watched, and it continue to be shared, and we ask that you do that. We ask that you continue to share this incredible evening with all of your friends and family, and to really spread the word about donating to this incredible cause. And, again, as you were saying, it's not just about making sure that the theater walls are restored. We're talking about theater in general in Houston, and it's a very meaningful cause, and especially to us, we obviously have representation in Houston, and the singers, we care about them so much, our reps there, and we hope that they're moving forward as best they can, and we just wanted to really be a part of this so we can make sure that everyone around Houston can enjoy theater just like people here in New York can.
Playbill is such a legendary brand, and it's wonderful what you guys do. I don't think I've ever been to a Broadway, maybe even an off-Broadway show without getting a Playbill. You guys are unbelievable. To be part of this is tremendous. When you were first told about this, you threw your force behind it. What went through the folks, you and the folks at Playbill's decision-making to say, hey, this is a cause we have to support? There are a lot of good causes out there. What made you say this is one we have to support?
Well, it came to us from David Perlow, who has become a friend over these last many weeks, working on this, and essentially saying, hey, what can Playbill do to assist? And honestly, like I said in the beginning, the least that we can do is offer our reach. As you're saying, we're an old company, and one of the ways that we're kind of trying to turn the corner into being a newer feel of a company is really understanding the realm of social media, the social media impact. And it is a continually growing medium for us as well for tons of other organizations out there, and allowing us to kind of flex our social muscles with this was something that, again, I keep saying it, but it's literally the least that we can do, and we're thrilled to be a part of it, and we're thrilled to continue to push this through these growing channels. And we urge that everyone out there, like I said, please share it, share the link. Everyone in Houston would absolutely appreciate it, for those who love the theater there and those who just want those who love the theater there to enjoy it.
Well, here's what I say, is I think that theater really brings back normalcy, entertainment in any form. I talk about after September 11th covering a Mets game and being shocked. We didn't know when to go back to the theater. We didn't know when to go back to sports. And the Mets, I believe, if I remember correctly, were the first team to play in New York. And Piazza hits a home run, and the place goes crazy. And it told everybody in New York it was okay to live again and to experience life again. And I think that that's important. We need to do that for these people and let them enjoy life and smile. And so we need to make them smile every day. We need to find a way. We can donate our time. We can donate supplies. And, of course, we can donate money. There's a link below on the screen that people can do that. Talking about Playbill, how did Playbill get started, and how did it become such a force in the theater industry?
Well, Playbill has been around for over 130 years.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
It is. It's quite a feat, and we are continuing to, find new ways to, enjoy the space that we're in. Really, I mean, we were a very specific product for a very long time, and in the 90s we started to expand a bit. I mean, this company has, been involved with my family has been involved with this company for over half a century, and so I am the latest in line, and we have enjoyed seeing how we could really affect this company and help it grow and help those out there who love it, who love not just Playbill but mainly the theater, and that we relish the fact that we are the theater fans' resource. And that's how we've been able to stick around for so long, because we understand our role is the resource of the theater fan.
You're doing a great job. You really are. Thank you for working with us on this. It's been a wonderful experience. I have enjoyed working with you guys. I hope we get to do more. I'd like to see us do more of these kinds of events, too.
It'd be fun.
Talk about how you first got interested in theater. I would imagine it's because your family's involvement in Playbill, but it's not always that simple. A lot of times, if mom or dad are involved, you don't necessarily get involved, or you might think, okay, well, that's something I might want to do, but you might not be passionate about it, but you're clearly passionate about it.
Sure. It's something that has always been an absolute love for me, even though that for a long time sports was my passion that I, gravitated towards, but theater as well. Not a lot of my friends knew that, but I, would consistently listen to cast albums, and while getting ready to pitch a baseball game, that's just, it's my two loves. And for a long time I worked for Major League Baseball, and then it was really wonderful to then work for the Topps company, and then joining my father now at Playbill, and it's been a wild ride, and I can't wait to see what we can do to really even stretch the brand and grow the brand and strengthen the brand into the future.
So Mariano enters to enter the Sandman, and you get ready by show tunes.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm
maybe a little Tommy.
I'm actually, if there's nothing gets me really focused and ready to roll, then Being Alive, Company. I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs.
Do you remember what the first show tune you heard was?
Probably from Beauty and the Beast. I was taken to that as a kid, and that was one of my first theater memories. Was that show, and I remember being incredibly scared of the wolves that were involved in that. That was a lot. That was something that I was a couple of years older, maybe 5 or 6 years old. But theater has always been a very important part of my life, and it's been a very important part of my family's life, and been a very important part of New Yorkers' lives. And it's a real pleasure to be able to give back now to this industry and this company and the fans who love it so much.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's been a real pleasure to work with you here, and you've done a great job promoting this and doing this and bringing Playbill into the, next evolution, and it's really a tremendous publication and the site, playbill.com. Thank you so much. And like Alex said, don't forget, share this, because not everybody got to see it tonight. They'll get a chance to see it and maybe also contribute as well. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to wrap this up right after that. Thanks so much for watching. You are the Terrifics. You make Be Terrific special. We'll be back with a whole lot more from Broadway Loves Houston right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to Broadway Loves Houston. This is an event that is raising money and your support to help rebuild the theaters in Houston so that not only people can have jobs, but life can get back to normal. People can be entertained, enjoy themselves. And also what happens with theater is that people learn. Students get a chance to strive to be in the theater. They get to see shows, and they get to perform in school. These young ladies got a chance to see the performance tonight, some real up-close and personal action with Broadway stars. They're NYU students in the musical theater department, majors. We've got Chanel and Anna, and we've Ashley, Haley, and Riley. I got almost all of them correct. It's a lot to remember. What did you think of the performances today?
I was so moved. I hadn't really been in an experience where artists would come together to help other people using their voices in a live setting where you can reach so many people beyond that small room. I felt like they were really making a difference, and I was just happy to be a part of that. It was really beautiful to see. Did
you learn a lot tonight, not only from the education standpoint, but also about giving back?
It's really phenomenal that all of these artists donated their time to come tonight, and just out of the goodness of their heart. They could be doing so many other things right now and be getting paid, but they chose to come here and to sing for the benefit of these people in Houston.
Especially in the theater world, it's really difficult to get jobs and to support yourself. Being able to work and support yourself just by doing what you love is a really difficult thing to do on a steady basis. So the fact that they're willing to dedicate their time and energy and something that they could have been paid for something so altruistic and helpful for other people is just really inspiring, and just really shows what we can be doing in the future too, you know?
Did you learn about performing, especially being so up close and personal? It's a small room and a personal space.
Learn about performing in a small space, or in general, or?
I mean, is there anything you picked up about performing from these Broadway stars?
I don't know. I just think it was definitely being so close, being able to see movement and facial expressions, and how it we were actually all sitting in the back of the room, but even still sitting in the back of the room, how the facial expressions and everything carries that far out. And I feel like it's really important to us as young theater aspiring actors, actresses, to take that with us and really feed off of that energy that we could feel in the back of the room, even though they were all the way up on the stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it was a good experience for you guys. How did you find out about the event?
Well, my friend Ashley was actually the one who invited me, that got the tickets. And also, we're very connected with this green room, this venue, just because also Riley works here, because, it has so many people from the new studio on Broadway from NYU, which is the studio that we're all a part of as well.
It's a great space. I know that it gives back a lot, and obviously you work here. It wants to kind of develop theater and music and all that, and it's really important. Is it kind of easy to imagine that you're just a few years, a few years from now you could be up on a stage like this?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that. I'm just trying to absorb everything I can from being so close to these people, and just from being in Manhattan, it's allowed me to have so many opportunities when I can talk to people after they come off of the stage and just ask them my questions. It's something NYU allows us to do, which is really great.
Where are you from?
I'm from the city.
And how about you?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm from San Clemente, California.
I'm from Roxbury, New Jersey.
Holland, Michigan.
Holland, Michigan. Wow, very nice. And is everybody in your family okay right now with the fires?
Yes, we're fortunately we're in a very safe place. San Clemente is a little more south, so we're a little more green. We have a little bit more water, but we have a lot of friends in the Orange County area who are going through a really hard time with that. But we're all doing okay. We're hoping, we're sending our thoughts towards them. So
Absolutely, and I hope everybody out there is okay. One of our friends, we have there's a company called Think Tank Photo. They make great camera bags, and Ted, who works there, his family house was destroyed in the fires, and so a lot of them had to evacuate, and we're hoping that they're all okay. Our thoughts go out to them as well. Did you guys all meet at NYU?
We did, yeah. Last year, I met a few of them the very first week of classes, and we've been best friends since.
All right. Very nice. You have a favorite moment from tonight?
My favorite moment was probably when Orfeh, she was singing this incredibly high note in her mix, so it was a little bit softer, and then she went just down into this power belt that you just felt so much soul, and my jaw dropped. I had to like pick it up off the floor, but it was just so amazing because I was like, yes, like I felt so with her at that moment.
Very cool. And if you missed that moment or any moment, you can go back on Facebook or on BeTerrific.com, watch the archives, and watch what happened earlier this evening. Of course, please donate, give your time, give resources or money, which is always very needed and important. Right at the bottom of the screen is the web address. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to wrap this up in a nice bow. Ladies, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, had a great experience. You're the Terrifics. You make Be Terrific special. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Houston Loves Broadway, because it's now Houston Loves Broadway. Because
Houston Loves Broadway. Broadway's been loving Houston all night.
And so Houston has to love Broadway. But
love. We need some love on Broadway now.
It absolutely is. Broadway loves Houston. This has been a wonderful event. The idea is that people have come here to this event, spent time, spent money, listened to Broadway performers who donated their time and their performances, not only to the people in the room, but to you too, in the hopes that you donate. The link is at the bottom, so that we can rebuild the theaters in Houston, not only providing jobs for the people who work at those theaters, but also bringing life back to normal and giving people an outlet to be entertained. This is how the night started, the three of us on this on this step and repeat. You guys have done a wonderful job. I think you were a little nervous beforehand. 5 weeks to put this together, and you pulled it off marvelously.
Thank you. Yeah, we had 5 weeks. We had a couple of emails here and there, a couple of calls here and there, and we ended up here tonight, and I got to tell you, it went off without a hitch. All the performers showed up. They were in great spirits. They were generous. The crowd was in great spirits. The room was electric, don't you think, Allie?
Yeah, it was really an amazing night. So special.
Young lady, your performance was nothing short of stellar.
Thank you very much. It was fun to sing Spring Awakening again.
It's really amazing to see you sing, because you throw such passion into it.
Always. Why it's fun. That's what makes it good. So yeah, tonight I got to do my favorite thing in the world, which is to sing and help people that are in need.
I think what's great, too, is for the audience, they get to see a little bit of a different side of the Broadway stars. The Broadway stars talked a little bit. They kind of revealed themselves a little, and I think that that's nice.
They did. We have Darlicia Searcy, who's a native Houstonian. She was here. She sang Human Heart from Once on This Island, which is a show we're working on together at the moment. And she just poured her heart out. She said that she's worked at the Wortham. She's worked at Jones Hall. She grew up taking ballet down there. Her whole family is still down there. And just to see some of these people, Phoebe Strole is a native Texan. It really moved them to be able to be here, and it moved me that they showed up with such open hearts and spirits shining like that.
I think it was a wild success. Will there be more?
There will certainly be more, and you and I are going to talk about more, and you and I are going to talk about more.
Yeah.
And we're going to be sure that if there's any opportunity to get the people, there's a lot of people in the world right now who need a lot of help, and if there's any opportunity for us to put something like this together, we're going to do it.
I think it's important. It can not only raise money, awareness, supplies, but it really is the awareness part too. Sometimes we don't realize how bad the devastation is. I was talking to somebody earlier, before Hurricane Sandy hit New York, I didn't really realize, and I've covered a lot of hurricanes and other natural disasters, just how devastating it can be. And I don't mean immediately. I understood the immediate toll. I didn't understand how long it took, because I never stayed in those places. Right? So you'd stay for a little while and then leave, and then your life goes back to normal. But here at Sandy, you got to see how long it takes, the years it takes to rebuild. Right, yeah. And so, and how long it affected people. And I think that that's what we have to raise awareness to and remind people.
I mean, it's essential to remind people of this when you have natural disaster compounding upon natural disaster, compounding upon natural disaster. So by the time we realize what's going on in Houston, we're focusing on Florida, we're focusing on Puerto Rico, as we should. But, man, they're struggling down in Houston. And I remember, as you say, with Sandy, you can go out to the Rockaways today and you can still see what went on with Sandy, you know.
Absolutely. And I was saying earlier in the night to somebody that I love that we're helping do this, but this is also seems like it's happening as we're uniting as a nation, and we're doing kind of what our troops, the men and women who defend our freedom, have been doing for a long time, and that is leave no one behind, you know.
That's right. And absolutely. I mean, that's what's so special, I think, about doing events like this with like performers and people that come out and they know what it's like to be maybe like the outcast, you know, these theater kids, and they're showing up and they're there for the people who need them the most.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing that unfortunately we still have bullying and cyberbullying and all that stuff, and that theater kids who you see grow up to be beautiful people, all of them, and we're all beautiful people, right, with great voices and tremendous talent, sometimes are outcasts.
Yeah, and I found so much comfort and community in the theater. So, tonight was just really, really special, and I'm just so proud of David. He put this whole thing together, and he is just amazing. I don't even have any words. I'm just so impressed.
Did you have a favorite moment?
My favorite moment was the last note of the song of Suddenly Seymour, and it was like, we did it, it's done, we did it.
Now you should be very proud of yourself. You did a phenomenal job. You really worked hard to put this together, and it's no small feat. I don't think people realize that at home, but it's no small feat. What was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment tonight? My favorite moment was Seth Rudetsky, who did a stellar job up there and donated all of his time and talent. We had Dan Connectus up to speak from Tuts in Houston, and Seth forgot to introduce him. So my favorite moment was when my partner got up there on stage and had my back as producer and made sure to get Dan up on stage so we didn't miss the, me, producer, we were like, oh my God, we got to hit this moment. So Allie had my back and she had the production's back, and she made sure that it went off without a hitch.
Now, I got to ask you guys work really well together. It's not always easy working in this scenario. Is it? Is it always easy? You make it seem easy, but I don't know if it's always easy.
No, it's not always easy, but it is the most rewarding partnership and collaboration that I have ever had. And when it's, when we hit the bumps, there's conversation and we figure out how to work through it and how we can be, how we can support each other and be better together.
I think that's a message for everyone out there, all collaborators and all human beings, because we do run into problems every now and then, because we care about each other so much and we put everything we have into helping each other. And so, of course, that opens us up. We're vulnerable to getting hurt, if something happens. But you know what? You stick with it. You stick with your partner. You talk it out if you have to, and you never withdraw. If there's a problem, I'd say that to everybody in the country and everyone in the world right now. A lot of people not getting along right now. Talk to each other. Talk to each other. Talk to each other.
Communication is key in pretty much every situation, and I think that a lot of times egos and all sorts of other issues can get in the way, and a lot of times people put themselves first, and we have to remember not to always put ourselves first. And even if it's one thought throughout the day of somebody in Houston or somebody in Florida or somebody in Puerto Rico or the Caribbean or in Vegas or in California, give a few seconds to pause and think about the people going through this stuff and maybe what you can do for them. And very much like you're talking about, even in your own situation, also think about your loved ones and what you can do to communicate with them. How'd you guys meet?
Well, we went to college together. We were at Tisch at NYU together. I'm 2 years older than Allie, and we passed each other every once in a while in the hallway. Of course, I was saying, who's that super cute girl in the wheelchair that's in the musical theater department?
Did you know she could do the spinorama?
No, that came later. But we were kind of at it. We never buddies or anything, but I'm directing a play that the writer she was working with a couple years ago, I was in a theater she was working in, and we bumped back into each other and just fell in love.
It doesn't seem that simple. I mean,
tomorrow is our 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations. Right. That is wonderful. Okay, so it can't possibly be that simple. He glossed over some details, right?
Well, kind of, yes. I mean, yes, there's a whole story, but we met in college, and then I was doing Spring Awakening, and he came over to the theater, and then he came to see the show, and after the show we hung out, and we were just like, whoa, locked in with each other.
Yeah, there's a picture of it. There's a picture of that moment, of us just like gazing at each other from across this table. It really, I never thought that I would be the kind of guy that would be in love at first sight like that, but I looked at her 2 years ago tomorrow and fell in love with her. That's
wow.
Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's a big day.
Tomorrow's a big day. Hopefully we can drag ourselves out of bed. I got to get to this island rehearsal.
I was going to say, are you supposed to drag yourselves out of bed on your 2-year anniversary?
Yeah, we're up at 6:45. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I do. All right. Just trying to help you out. I don't know.
Listen, tomorrow night we're gonna hang out and we're gonna have a great time.
Do you have any plans you can share, or are you gonna is this a surprise for Al?
No, what we're gonna do is we had like a go out to dinner fancy schmancy deal, but you know what? Tomorrow, this past week, we made the best pork chops on that we had ever had. They were like that. It was amazing.
You have leftovers.
No, we don't.
We're gonna do it again.
We're just
gonna make them again.
Some beautiful meal and be in. Have a couple bottles of wine, 3-4 bottles of wine.
Oh, then you'll definitely be in. Yeah,
the
good
best
plan.
meal we've ever had again.
Great plan. You guys are fabulous, and congratulations on this and your 2-year anniversary. And I know this is for the people in Houston and the people watching. So before I let you go, your advice. I asked Allie this before, but your advice to people who face adversity, or facing adversity right now.
Well, I learned this. I was 27. My dad passed away, and it's a bit of a new reality. Anytime we have a loved one or pass away, or lose a job, or in a storm, you lose your house. And just to know that, it might sound obvious, but to know that if you hang in there and just keep waking up in the morning, keep moving forward, change is the only constant. You know that the fog is going to lift, and that again, it might sound cliche, but if you hang in there, the fog is going to lift. My dad used to tell me, "Keep punching, kid, keep punching." So that'd be my advice: keep punching.
I like that. I tell my son Jack to keep his legs moving. I go, keep your legs moving.
Keep punching. That's it. That's what you got to do.
Well, he's David Perlow. She's Allie Stroker. Thank you both so much. You did a beautiful job tonight. You did too, sir. Thank you. You've been watching on Playbill.com, on Playbill's Facebook page, and on BeTerrific.com. Thank you so much for watching, for your time, and don't forget, donate. Give something, a smile, some resources. How about some money? Just go to the link below and donate. I'm Michael Artsis, you're the Terrifics, and you make Be Terrific special. We hope you enjoyed tonight, and until next time, thank you so much for watching. I got to thank the crew who's so wonderful, Dr. David Milch, Adam Holtz. We have Rory O'Donohue behind the scenes, Kevin Foley. Of course, we've got Dumas and Kat. And, of course, the wonderful people at Playbill, Attention Theater, which is you guys, and Cumulus. They're wonderful folks, WPLJ Nash FM. I'm Michael Artsis. Until next time, be terrific.